Well, welcome back to the Bacon Motorsports Power Hour. Got Steve Hughes here with us. We're talking about, a pretty good night of racing.
It was great.
Great nights of racing.
Oh, yeah. Had a great crowd, great racing. Lots of first-time winners last Saturday night, so we were very excited about that. And Eyewitness News, KBAK and Fox 58 did a great job supporting that event. So
nice.
We're very pleased to have them on board.
What was the big storyline as far as you were concerned? I mean I know we put in the paper, but what was your what were you seeing as far as
has to be the first-time winners, man.
Yeah.
Colton Page. Getting his first win.
I think we just talked about
Legends.
that last week, too, about how he was kind of there on the cusp.
Well, we were wondering which youngster, which young gun, which young lion is going to break through and get that first win, We talk about Braden Rogers, Jerry Flippo, Justin Fine.
Right.
Who's it going to be?
Right.
And Colton Page was the one that had to use a veteran move, to get there and get the victory. So.
Well, let's jump in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights that we have right off the bat.
Let me just switch to my good side.
There you go.
Hey. Well, we kicked things off with the NASCAR mini stocks coming back in action. And it was great to see Michael Gomez, Destiny Joplin, A.J. Cameron, and Austin Wilson, all new drivers in this division. And Michael Gomez, one of the early drivers there, he started on the pole. And this was a great 3 or 4 lap battle, but then it ends right there in turn number 2. Sam Pache breaks a component on the steering on that number 5 machine. Tough break for Handsome Sam. So I know that we'll see him and his dad Pierre back out at the racetrack soon. And then Stacey Evans took over the lead. But that number 15, man, of Terry Pettit, he is ultra fast. He was going for his 4th victory in a row, and he's going to get it and extend his points lead over Evans in the 22 car. So congratulations to Terry and his team. 911's always exciting, man. When first responders get out onto the racetrack, it's pretty awesome. But I'll tell you what, the Kern County Sheriff's Department, nearly unstoppable so far this year. In this car, it was Sergeant Joel Swanson making his 2nd race of the year, and that's all we allow. So 2 races for each one of these drivers, so they don't really get a monopoly and really get to figure it out. But Kern County Sheriff's Department dominates again. This is it, the Legends race. Eric Olson in that MMI Services number 17 led early and often, led 19 of the 30 laps. A little bit of trouble there with the 88 car. She comes from Las Vegas, Nevada. That was Cheyenne Schindler. But this is where the race starts to get interesting here. Colton Page in the 24P tracks down the 17 of Eric Olson. And right there, a little bump and run going into turn number 3, moves him to the inside. And Colton Page, like I said, that was a veteran move.
That's pretty exciting racing there.
Yeah, it certainly was. A great field of drivers in that INEX Legends division, and Page with his first win of his career. Late model main event number 1.
Good-looking car count there, too.
Yeah, not too bad. We had Tony McRae and Dennis Furden coming from the L.A. area to join us on a Saturday night. Chris Dalton would battle with the number 44. There's our first caution. He came a little late, kind of bunched the group back up. And Eric Richardson in the 44 car would start to make his move on this restart here. Lance Wilson in the 15 car, drag race into turn number 1. Still door handle to door handle off of turn number 2.
What a battle these guys
It was great. Those restarts, man, you got to get what you can get on these restarts at the big half mile at Kern County Raceway. He would take the lead right there and the checkered flag for his 3rd win in a row and set himself up for the weekend sweep that night. SRL S2s, their 4th trip to Kern County Raceway in 2015. A great race to start. Todd Conrad in the 41 would lead early. Johnny Butler in the 59 would start to make his move on Conrad, and he would eventually pass Conrad right here with an inside move going into turns 1 and 2. And that 97 of Dylan Garner, who won the last race at Irwindale Speedway, looking for another big win, and they would battle nose to tail for several laps, and then right there just drives him right up nearly into the wall. Of course, both cars would be told to go to the back of the field, which would set up a great late race run. It was a green-white checker finish here for the SRL S2s. And early leader Todd Conrad looked like he had the advantage on that restart, but Dave Lowenstein in the 45 car just had the pedal mashed against the floorboard and was able to outlast the 41 of Conrad to get his first win. Now, that is his first win in 20 years. And I don't mean in this division, in any division. He's never had a victory, and he did it at Kern County Raceway.
There's a great picture we'll show of him in a minute. Just
Absolutely.
looking very excited.
NASCAR Spec Mods were up next, and the gentleman out of Morro Bay, California, started on the pole and did not look back. Anthony Barkett, finally, with a great run, gets the win. There you saw points leader, the number 2 of Brock Thompson, with some rear end troubles on that machine, and that's going to shake up the points a little bit in the NASCAR Spec Mods. But congratulations to Anthony Barkett,
absolutely,
on his first career asphalt win as well. So the final main event of the evening saw, again, the DC's RV Center Special, the number 5 of Chris Dalton lead early. You see Racing Vernon getting loose there coming off of turn number 2, man.
Fighting it.
He was sideways. Dennis Furden in the 20 car brings out a caution early. And then we had a great green flag run to the finish. And Dalton, again, gets out to a great lead, but gets tracked down by the number 44 of Eric Richardson. Richardson would take over the lead right there. The 15 of Lance Wilson would sneak by the 5 of Chris Dalton, as would the number 51 of Racing Vernon. But 2 sweeps in a row, back-to-back sweeps, 4 victories, extending his points lead is the 44 of Eric Richardson.
So he was tight going into this thing, but he sweeps this event, and now what's the points?
Had a 6-point lead going into last Saturday night, now holds a 10-point advantage over the 15 Wilson's Industrial Pumps machine of Lance Wilson.
But we take 2 weeks off, get right back into the 15th.
Yeah, man, we're finishing up our summer break, man. You know, it's going to be warm. It's going to be hot over the next couple of weeks, so trying to give families a little bit of time to spend some time with each other. And then back, actually August 15th, we'll be back in action. And that's the weekend before school starts. And we've got some great school giveaways courtesy of NASCAR and their Acceleration Nation program. I believe it's the first 250 kids will get some school supplies and some racing-themed workbooks that night as well.
So we'll see the late models, the Spec Mods, Legends, Bandos, and Mini Dwarfs. The 911 series will come back on the 22nd, first week back out of school for everybody.
Yep.
Get out there and enjoy your weekend. Twin 35s, mini stocks, Saturday Night Supermoto, which is always fun, and the 911 series again. And that's as we head towards. It's hard to believe we're almost
through summer.
Here
I know.
now. School's
it goes
back on
quick,
the 19th.
man. And you know, Saturday Night Supermoto making their return to Kern County Raceway. Really excited to have them back. The motorcycles have had, I want to say, 8 weeks off.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great to see them come back. And we're in the works of getting a stunt bike team to do an exhibition on that night as well. And then I'll have a big announcement regarding if you ride a motorcycle, we're going to invite you to come out to the races and fill up the food bank a little bit. I'll have more of that on our Facebook and Instagram pages coming up soon.
The other storyline here, it seems like, you know, the couple of divisions that have been kind of small, mini stocks, we've been talking about the Spec Mods having improved card counts, but you got guys from other parts of the state coming out to race this weekend. Last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some folks from Las Vegas, Nevada come out for the INEX Legends race. 3 cars came out from Las Vegas. And then we had 2 cars travel from down south in the late model division. And, of course, we've got our regulars that come over from the coast in the NASCAR Spec Mod class. But, you know, we're talking about the California points for NASCAR. Of course, there's 2 tracks that are really in the mix, Irwindale Speedway and Kern County Raceway. So that's why we're seeing Tony McRae come up to get some extra points when they had an off weekend. And actually, this is officially unofficial, with his 2 wins on Saturday night, gaining another, I believe it was 44 points total. Eric Richardson should be our California State points leader in the NASCAR late model division.
Does that mean he's going to have to go down to Irwindale and race at some point?
I don't know if he's going to do that. There's one caveat to that whole deal, and that's he and his wife Ann are expecting their first child.
Oh, really?
And I mean,
right now,
like soon.
Wow,
that's
a little bit of news there.
Yeah, so that
might cut into the racing a little bit, huh?
It just might. He's already made his statement on Saturday night. When the baby comes, I'm not racing.
Yeah.
So that's definitely understandable.
Let's take a look at some of the pictures and stuff that we have coming up. Tom Mocht and Amanda Perryman doing a great job.
Coffee right there.
There you go. Amanda Perryman's shot there. Some of the action that we had.
There's our 2 out-of-town cars that traveled up from L.A. Dennis Furden in the red, white, and blue 20, and Tony McRae in that beautifully prepared number 90 car.
Amanda,
there it is.
Amanda honing her action shots.
She is really doing a great job for us out there.
It's an interesting. This is a nice look at the Legends class with the crowd there in the background. A great card count. I love this particular shot.
I love that spot where she sits there because she gets him going away, going kind of up the hill, coming out of turn number 4, and then she can get him coming down that back straightaway on the quarter mile into turn number 3. Very high-speed shot right there.
These are some of the shots from Tom Mock showing some of the preparations going
There's
into
Tony McRae.
Into the racing, and I just looked at that picture and I'm like, man, he looks uncomfortable.
That was Chris Dalton. There's your winner, Anthony Barkett, and Red Ed Coffee.
Yep.
Mighty Matt Lewis, another Spec Mod driver. Lance Wilson. There he is again.
Yep,
It's kind of my man crush.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fast Eddie Garoni in Legends.
He did lose a couple of points to Eric Olson, Racing Vernon. It's all about prepping that helmet, man.
Absolutely. So the SRLS 2, the points that are the winners on this one was Dave Lowenstein, Todd Conrad, Johnny Butler, Craig Eaton, and Dylan Garner. And there he is. I mean, he has that look like haven't won in a while.
Well, let me tell you about this family, about Karen and Dave Lowenstein. This is what they do. They don't go on vacations. I mean, I'm sure they do. But what they do on the weekends is they load up their double stacker hauler. It's a full 45-foot hauler. And Dave even says himself, the reason why I love these S2 cars is because from 20 feet away, it looks like a NASCAR Sprint Cup car.
It does, yeah.
And it looks like a car of tomorrow. And they've got the hauler. It's wrapped really nice. And that's what they do. They go out and they race as a couple. So it was really cool and an amazing night for the Lowenstein family.
Beautiful. And it's a beautiful car, too. I mean, look at the picture on that car. I mean, just a fantastic-looking car.
And the thing with these S2s, man, if you wanted to go and buy a brand new S2, it's about a $26,000 investment. So turnkey and you're ready to go. They use that Hoosier treaded tire. There's not a lot of maintenance. You do have to do bolt checks and everything like that, safety checks, and make sure the car is set up correctly. But the parity in these cars, it's almost like IROC that has been shrunk down to do local Saturday night short track racing. And let's say you wanted to pick up a used one, about $11,000, man, and you can go full on half-mile racing, Irwindale, Kern County Raceway, and just have a great time in these cars. So it's a very affordable division. If you're sitting on your couch saying, "Man, I could do that,"
that might be one of the things why it's an inhibitor is that it's the cost. For a lot of people. Let's get through the rest of the results here. Right. Colton Page in the Legends class, Eric Olson in second. Again, the breakthrough here, and Colton. This is there he is. I mean, He's happy.
I'm gonna remind him. Hey, don't forget to throw your hat in your car next time.
Anthony Barkett in the Spec Mods.
It's Barkett, Market with a B.
Barkett.
Yeah, Barkett, just like that.
There we go. Here he is, and there's the photo from Amanda.
Yeah,
and great shot there. And mini stocks Terry Pettit was your winner again. How many in a row again?
4 in a row. 4 on the season. So I mean, he had the first 3.
Yeah.
We saw 3 different winners. We saw Randy Smith, we saw Stacy Evans, and we saw Sam Pache win the first 3 races. So we had 3 different winners in the first 3. Last 4, Terry Pettit's been dominant.
All right, very good. All right, and then our late model feature 1, Eric Richardson with the win, and Lance Wilson, Racing Vernon, Tony McCrary. And then in the second race, Richardson again over Lance Wilson.
Yeah.
And there he is. This is our 911 Series winner.
It is. That is Sergeant Joel Swanson from the Kern County Sheriff's Department. Yeah. There's Richard. ER.
Yep.
Yeah. And I want to talk about the California State points as well. Lance Wilson is in the top 10 along with the number 5 of Chris Dalton. All those racers in the top 10 in the California State points.
Great. All right, very good. We'll see you next week.
I'll be here.
All right.
You know what? Well, let's just talk about the racing for Ronald next week. Right. I got nothing going on, but I am really going to put it to you in the dunk tank. I can tell you that.
Looking forward to that.
I got a $100 bill that I'm going to spend on that deal.
He's back from Hawaii. Believe it or not, back from ziplining, golf, and racing. The one and only Blake Bowser coming up next on the Power Hour.